I said all those smart things, but
Me too. Repeat now. Repeat. But no, so I mean, just to be fair, we all have our flaws. So I swear there's probably still some sticky notes floating around in my car or beside my bed or on my desk somewhere. But as Anna said, this 90-day pipeline that and by the way, I'm looking up at the screen up here, so I apologize that I'm looking up above the camera. But this 90-day pipeline was introduced to my team a couple months ago, actually by a top real estate coach in the country. And it's definitely transformed my business just because, as Anna was saying, sometimes your CRM or however you're tracking your leads or your prospects will definitely I quote unquote call it like junking up your pipeline. Because I know for a lot of people, including myself, is, when I'm like adding all these people to my database, I end up, people fall by the wayside and then I'm not really keeping the best track sometimes of my high priority people. So I will definitely make sure to highlight that through the presentation. So two things I'm going to do right before I share. I'm going to share my 90-day pipeline sample spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the chat. I'm also going to have a QR code, but I know a lot of people like to look at it on a computer. So I just threw that in there, open it up. If you want to make a copy of it, all you have to do is file, make copy of the Google Sheet, and then you can make it your own. So cool. All right, let me share my screen. 1 second. Let's see, move all my screens around. All right, awesome. Can you guys see it?
mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So Anna was saying 90-day pipeline. This is a great tool, whether you're just an individual agent, maybe you're a team lead, or you're managing a group of agents. Honestly, anyone can use this. The main thing that I want you to remember about this is that make it your own. You're running your own business at the end of the day, so you don't have to follow it to a T, how I'm about to explain it. Some people are very detail oriented, very intricate with every little piece of it. If not, scale this back even more and just, help it manage your leads. So just jumping into it, quick background on me. Eli Harris, originally from Georgia, went to University of Georgia, so go Dogs. Sad we didn't get a third national championship, but, I think we're doing pretty damn well. A little background. I worked in tech and startups and software sales for about 8 years. Lived all over DC, New York, San Francisco. Actually traveled the globe for 16 months for a startup, but I actually got laid off from my tech job in the fall/winter of 2022. And my passion has always been real estate. I started investing in real estate in 2016. I have 3 short-term rentals and doing property management as well. But, the day I got laid off, I jumped into real estate and I immediately joined the Greco Group. And last year, I ended up closing 30 units for my first year and doing about 15.5 million in volume. So, I think it's tried and true. It's been working out pretty well, but I have some pretty lofty goals for next year. But that's a little bit background on me. So I love this quote: "A goal without a plan is only a dream." So I'm sure you've heard this quote before, but the way I read this is when you're leaving money on the table, you're probably working really, really hard. And so my goal with this 90-day pipeline is pretty simple. So I want you to be able to find that money quicker and get rid of the BS or any stuff that may be dragging you down throughout it. So the main topics we're going to talk about is, one, I'm just going to briefly go over systems, because this isn't replacing your CRM, but a lot of people do have CRM questions and how does it complement that. The second piece is then jumping into the spreadsheet itself and how am I categorizing these leads. And then the last section is just on suspects. So it's kind of what Anna was saying, not junking up your actual 90-day pipeline, but making sure those quote unquote suspects stay top of mind. So systems. So we use Boomtown. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard, Boomtown, but our CRM is just an easy way to manage all your clients. So you're not writing them down on notepads and spreadsheets everywhere. And it's just an easy way for you to do full circle pipeline management. You know, you can do some marketing automation, websites, and also you can get leads from them as well. But how I personally use my CRM, and again, this is just to complement the 90-day pipeline complements the CRM, is you can see here, I use Harry Potter as an example. I mainly just use the lead description and the to-do list here. And within my team, we really focus on LTP Mama. So this is just a great way after you pre-qualified your client, you know, you're trying to focus on those items such as location, timeline, price, motivation, agency, mortgage, and appointment. So this is how I'm organizing my description. And all of mine, I know if I can usually answer all of these questions, I have a pretty good grasp of, you know, what my client is doing, when they're doing it, etc. And then I use the to-do task just to schedule follow-ups with my person. So then I'm not having to put 1,000 things in my calendar. And then also I just know what I'm following up with them about. I just go into my CRM and I'm checking that every single day. So if you're interested in CRM, Boomtown specifically, you can always reach out to our Director of Operations, Kristen Holland, or just scan this QR code. And also, if you have questions on any of this after and you want deeper dive with it, you can always message me. All right, and last but not least, we use CTE for reporting and analytics, because all these things are super important, right? When you're tracking your leads and you're tracking your calls and trying to follow up with your people. So this is just another tool that we use to manage. If you don't mind. Thank you, Walter.
I'm getting off my phone and getting on my computer.
Oh, okay, perfect. But yeah, this is a great way for you to track your metrics at the end of the day. All right, awesome. Categorizing your leads. So this is the main topic that I want to talk to you guys about. So the spreadsheet that you should have clicked on within the chat, I'm just going to be kind of showing you a blank spreadsheet and screenshots on my slides, and then we can actually jump into it later. But the main thing here is that you can see is a numbers on your left that are highlighted red. So you want to customize this number in column A to reflect your monthly goals. So, you know, if you have a 50%, you know, fallout rate, you know, let's say you need to have 15 consultations or 10 consultations in this example here. So what you'll see is you'll have a column for consults and pending. So consults, this is where you start categorizing your leads after you've had an actual consult with them. So as Anna was saying, you only want to put people in this column that you are certain will do business. But you can imagine whenever you're putting all the people in your CRM and then you have hundreds or even thousands of people in there, this starts to junk up, and then you don't know who to follow up with, and then people fall by the wayside. Now, these are people that are actually going to be doing business with you. So once you've done that LTP Mama or whatever script that you're going through, and you have a good idea of, you know, motivation, location, timeline, price points, all that good stuff, then your people will actually go into the spreadsheet up under this consults column. Okay. Now, when you jump into, here's an example. When you have met with the lead and they've signed rep, for example, let's just say Harry Potter in this example, I will actually put an L next to their name. So that means like, okay, cool, I have buyer rep with them. Now, if you've met with them and they didn't want to sign buyer's rep with you, but you've been through the process of, I'm going to say LTP Mama for my example, I'm going to say Jack Dawson, shout out Titanic. He, you know, I've recorded that, you know, I've done the steps with him, but I maybe haven't signed a buyer, or he hasn't signed buyer's agency with me. Now, Darth Vader, this is someone that, you know, you've been through the process, but, you know, they decided to go with another agent, or they decided not to buy. So this is just, again, helping you with your metrics to understand what's happening through that month. If you want to scale it back and not use any of the bold straight throughs or the L, you don't have to. Just simply keep a list going in your consults column, like you can see here. Now I'm going to jump to the
Is this
pending
in
column.
Excel or is this done in your Boomtown?
Oh no, this is done in Excel. So Walter, if you since you maybe jump back in, if someone can repost the link in the chat for Walter, just so you can actually see.
I see it.
Okay, yeah. So just click on that, and then you can kind of see it zoomed out as well. And then you can just make a copy of it if you want to use it. So in the pending column, so if they're a serious buyer and you've pre-qualified them and understand, their timeline, this is when you can drop them into a pending month. So this will make it super easy, whether you consult with them in May and they need to find something in the next few weeks, or maybe they're not finding something until August. You'll want to drop them into the column for pending, whatever month they've given you for timeline. So this is going to give you a great easy snapshot so you can manage your prospects. Now, let's see. Oh yeah, if they actually go pending, you can put their name in bold and put the approximate commission dollar next to their name. So then you can see how you're performing for that month against the goals that you set for yourself. Does all of this make sense so far? I like the shaking head. Thank you, Megan. Awesome. So suspects. So I'm sure people are asking, all right, so what do you do with your people that, how many people? Oh, did you have a question? Sorry about that, Laura. Oh, no. All right. So I'm sure a lot of people are asking about what do you do with your investors or your people that are like, oh, when the right house becomes available. How many people have clients like that? They're just waiting for yeah, exactly. So all of us do. So this is a separate item on the spreadsheet here that you can have your back burner clients and your investors. So the key here is to be very, very realistic. Again, I'm going to repeat what Anna was saying of not trying to junk this up, essentially, where I'm sure you have people that are, taking up your time, looking at homes, and it feels like they'll never pull the trigger with you. So stop spinning your wheels with them and actually build a plan out for these people. So whether it's the once a month touch point, once a quarter, and then you're following up with emails and texts in between there, set a plan for them, because I'm sure we've all been spinning our wheels with some people that we've been working with for heck, maybe even like 1 to 3 years at this point. And now you're just spending all your time with them when you really need to bucket them in this category, follow your follow-up plan with them, and then really focus on the lead generation, the people that are actually going to be moving the needle within your 90-day pipeline. Because that's the whole premise, right? Is your people that are going to make a decision within those 90 days, those are your true high priority people and where you need to be focusing your time at the end of the day. So here's an example of what it looks like. I added up here annual goals from a dollar amount, number of deals needed, how many have you closed year to date, current pending. So here you can see the zoomed out version of consults pending for each month. And then you just have it going for each, and then you just have it going for the next year as well. I'm going to jump over into this. So in the spreadsheet, which I can see a couple people have it open, that's awesome. This has all the rules that you can do, that you should follow with this. Again, you don't have to follow all of them. It's your business at the end of the day. Do what makes sense for you. And you can see this is a sample pipeline. I have an empty one for you here. Then I have a suspects tab here as well. And then once you start being able to kind of back out and look at all of your metrics, then you can start having specific goals that you want to have for each week. Because the better you understand your business, the more knowledgeable you can be on it and actually forecast numbers on that. So I'm just going to jump back into here for a second. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I feel like there was one other item and now I can't remember what I was going to say on it. But again, this just team leads. So if you are a team lead on this, this is a great way for you to have conversations with people on your team. Instead, how many times have you had a conversation where you're just like, oh, like, I have 5 people in the pipeline, I'm doing well with it, blah, blah, blah. If you have this right in front of you at all times and you're able to see one of your agents and what they have actually projected to close in June, you can have much deeper conversations with your agents at the end of the day and really help them move that needle. Or if you start seeing that one person that gets transferred from May pending to June pending to July pending, okay, you're like, all right, I think this person's a back burner. Like you're spending too much time with them. Let's put them on this other tab and let's create a follow-up plan that makes sense for them. So you can focus on these other people that are actually going to move the needle at the end of the day. So again, this isn't replacing your CRM or anything like that, but this is really getting you to focus in on the people where you're going to actually be able to convert and follow up with them properly. So short, but I hope this was super impactful for you guys and that hopefully you can use this as well. Any questions that you have on how this works? Does it seem doable, Walter?
It does. I mean, it's taken away from chasing your tail and jumping back and forth between everything. It kind of focuses. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't this feel so much more doable sometimes when you're just like, because I know for me, when I jump into my CRM, sometimes I'm just like, oh crap, like I haven't looked at something for like 3 days and I have all these to-do tasks and then I'm kind of like running around and this kind of just like keeps everything front and center that should be super important to you.
I circle back to my tasks frequently.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, some of them fall into due today, some of them fall into overdue, and I'll go back to the overdues and catch everything back up. So.
Exactly. And what about you, Blake, from a team lead perspective?
Yeah, I like it. We kind of use in CT the pipeline. Sometimes when you get a little bit stressed, it's good to look at these documents and say, okay, we have this potentially happening. So, no, I think it breaks it down because all I do is just highlight like my hot leads every day. And I'm like, okay, who have I talked to last? Who do I need to follow up with? This will kind of give it more of a schedule.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's really nice when you can put stuff like, I mean, I'll tell you when, someone I spoke to and then 6 months down the road, like I'll create a to-do task on them, but if I can actually see them
right
in that column and then I know like, okay, I have some solid ones coming about and I'm not actually freaking out about Q3 and Q4, whether I have something.
Right.
So, Megan, tell me you love it, girl.
I do love this actually because I feel like recently I've gotten like a lot of people and I feel like they get lost in Boomtown or lost in my notes. So this I love. I'm a big Excel girly, so love this.
Awesome. And if anybody like changes anything on it, like you make a copy and then you find something else, like how you change it works great. Like share with me because I'm always changing this up. I mean, I won't show send a different spreadsheet. I need to find it. But I have another team member that for some reason this doesn't click with them as much, but they really liked a ABC method. So where they're just like typing everyone down and then in another column and whether they're A, B, or C, whether hot, nurture, or watch. And then that's how they're kind of keeping track of it as well. So because sometimes the CRM is just like overwhelming for them. So it's kind of easy for them to extract out the few that they really need to be focusing on and managing it that way. And then just making, lead description updates and minor stuff within their CRM. But,
Yeah, I like how simple this is because I did create a pretty extensive document that has like their name and then like time frame, all that good stuff and description. But I like how this just like has their like you just have the consult pending. So you can have that, but this simplifies things a lot. So I like that.
awesome. Well, I know we're coming up on 9 o'clock. Any other questions or actually anything else that anyone else does just on managing their pipeline, just to make it easier and simpler?
I like that to-do feature because that way I wake up every day and it syncs to my Google Calendar, and I'm like, okay, these are the people I need to follow up with. So on Boomtown.
Wait, I didn't know that, Blake.
Yeah.
Boomtown
Yeah.
syncs up with Google Calendar?
If you do the to-do list, I don't know if you have to set it up or not. So like you showed it, but if you click on that to-do button towards the bottom, there's a checkbox that says like sync to your Google Calendar. So like I'm waking up this morning and it has 1, 2, like 5 people I need to follow up with because of a prior conversation. And I think we talked about this at Allison's one day. You know, if this guy Fred doesn't answer at 9 o'clock, well, I'm gonna change that time from 9 to like 3, try him again at 3, then change that time again to tomorrow. That way I'm like waking up and knowing who the heck to call, and it syncs to my phone. That, so I used to type it in my phone in the digital like myself, but that saves a lot of time to do the to-do list from the CRM. It syncs to your Google Calendar. So I like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I live by my calendar, so that's great. Any other tips and tricks? And I think this might be it. Unless she muted me. I think she did. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm going to hop. My email address, let's see, did I put it there? It's just Eli Harris Realtor. Let me put it right here. Eli Harris Realtor at gmail.com. This is my cell phone number. Feel free to text me if you have any questions about this or just anything in general. Referrals are always appreciated as well. And that is it. Anna, thank you so much. I'm gonna hop.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, going to work.
To work. Go implement this
Okay,
right
Bye,
now.
guys.
right now.